Hello Minecraft fans and fellow Christians, and welcome to yet another part of the Twilight Forest series. In this time, we'll be covering the Stronghold. An explorer's notebook written on faintly glowing paper. The tendrils of darkness surrounding this area are just a manifestation of a protective spell over the entire dark forest. The spell causes blindness, which is quite vexing. I have seen several interesting things in the area and would like to keep exploring. Next entry. I have found ruins in the dark forest. They belong to a stronghold of a type usually inhabited by knights. Rather than knights, though, this stronghold is full of goblins. They wear knightly armor, but their behavior is most unknightly. Next entry. Deep in the ruins, I have found a pedestal. The pedestal seems to be of a type that knights would place trophies on to prove their strength. Obtaining a powerful scepter would seem to weaken the curse on the dark forest, and placing a trophy associated with a powerful creature on the pedestal would likely grant access into the main part of the stronghold. Now, one thing that has been consistent throughout the series is that you have to defeat the Hydra, and then you'll be able to go into the stronghold area after placing a trophy on the said pedestal. Any trophy you already have will do. Even if you've already beaten other strongholds and other bosses after a stronghold, those trophies will do as well. If you look at the map, you'll find that I'm near the sort of darker area on the left side, near the left side of the map. And just like the fire swamp, you'll have like the labyrinths, you'll have 4 options you can choose from as far as dungeons. Now here's what it looks like in actuality. Certainly matches the description. Now, you have 2 options as far as lighting. You can either manufacture tons of light sources, because you'll need a lot if you do that, or you can somehow try and destroy the dark leaves. They are rather resilient. They are flame retardant, as in you can't easily spread fire to them. And they're pretty blast proof. So that's not much of an option either. They're about as blast proof as stone bricks or endstone. So you'd have to be packing a lot of explosives just to light up the place. However, as you might remember, there's a bacteria mod that I seem to prefer a lot. Now if I just set up the bacteria like so, it should work. However, if you do this, you can expect a ton of lag. Now, if you don't have a powerful computer, this may not be an option. Now, I'll hold the recording for a while so that this can finish. Okay, let the bacteria destroy the leaves enough to where I could expose the stronghold. Now, true enough, it doesn't look appearance after the fact, but it does the job. If you want, you could try using replacer bacterium to make the leaves look like the dark wood of the trees, and then you can use the purple bacterium so that it destroys the trees as well as the leaves, so that it doesn't look like there's just dead trees, and now have the rest of the trees that are still living and fine here, if that's what you want. But anyway, now this is just what's above the surface. Like an iceberg, there's more below, and this is the area that we're going for first. Might as well clear this. Now this, as far as I know, is indestructible. But the rest of these aren't. the stone brick stairs, under brick, etc., etc. But if you ask me, just putting a trophy on this pedestal will make it just fine. Now I might as well grab some under brick so I can bridge my way down. That's one of the goblins mentioned before. Oh, I might as well grab night vision. Now, if you noticed... Hold 1 second. Oops. My mistake. Now, if you noticed, he took a direct hit from my blade and didn't take damage at first. That's because of his armor. You have to strike at the top half of the goblin, well, from the back. It was essentially two goblins, one standing on each other's shoulders. Now this is a armor shard. I'll get to that after I defeat the bosses. Now, there is no map beyond the maze map that should work here, but turning on my cave maps ought to work just fine. Helmet crabs. As far as I know, they're unique. Now, another thing you might be lucky is actually having a set of stone brick stairs covering up a chest here. However, if you're unlucky, it's going to be a trap chest with TNT underneath. And chests like this will appear throughout. As far as I know, chests like this are never trapped. Now we're again looking for a specific boss room. Yeah, that's not it. 1 second. Oh, whoops. My mistake. If you could have Silk Touch mob spires, you'll definitely want this. Because, well, this armor shire will be able to help you with getting armor like into diamonds in quality. And there are 2 of these here. Okay, more maze wafers. Looks like I was wrong only finding those in the labyrinth. Oh well. Now, onward. Ah yes, that must enter into the next biome at the center of the dark forest. I'll have to explain that later, but it looks like I'm right. Never had that happen before though, in any case. Ah, more resistance. Ah, that's a kobold. If that matters, they're the things I dropped the notes on from the Forgotten Explorer. Oh, more you. Creeper. Despite all the mods I've ever seen, creepers are still my #1 most irritating mob. Back here again. Huh. Ah, here's what I was talking about earlier under the stairs. Ah, it's a trap chest. Figures. Now, pressing forward. Oh, looks like our ravine intersects. Irritating. Looks like this is taking a while longer than I hoped. However, one trade secret. Fire damage bypasses the armor on those goblins. So they'll receive fire damage no matter what. Odd. Looks like thorn damage also bypasses it. I'll come back later to you. Okay, at some fighting and finding later, I found the right room. Turns out it was sort of glitched out to where the room wasn't actually connected to the rest of the building. A likely possibility for y'all too, but even so, let's hope that you can find it just all the same. Now, one thing you're going to want is actually a ranged weapon for this. So, I have my handy dandy longbow. Now, hopefully, things will go smoothly and I kill the right one. You see, there's only one that looks different from the rest, to where he looks like he actually has a skeleton inside his armor. The rest look like they could be ghosts without a body or something along those lines. And destroying the grating here gives you more room to shoot, but it also gives them more room to shoot too. So bear that in mind. And that's the thing that spawns them. A chest will spawn right near it when we're done with the battle. See what I mean? Oh, there we go. more than one will have the skeleton inside. It's important you get the one with the skeletons inside before the rest, otherwise it won't count for whatever reason. Used to be harder. Whoops. That's something else. Now, phantom plates. They're special uncraftable armor that comes special with the ghosts. Now, lastly but not leastly, here is the armor and weapons they can actually make from knightmetal. Well, with the exception of the ghost armor, essentially. Now, one thing to know is that you need 9 armor shards from the crabs and other such things to make an armor shard cluster. And each one of those smelts into 1 ingot per cluster. And you can make this fancy set with it, along with a nice sword, extra damage to armored targets, a knightly axe, extra damage to unarmored targets, and a knightly pick, extra damage to armored targets. Now sadly they don't have a knightly shovel, but anyway. You can also make a block of knightmetal that hurts enemies if they walk on them. Could possibly use that for defenses if you don't want to use lava or something like that, but that makes it work well with pistons and so forth. Now another interesting weapon, the block and chain. You have to make a knightmetal loop, and then you can use that loop along with 3 ingots and a knightmetal block to make it. You can actually throw it like so. Now, as for the shield, I sort of like it, but anyway, you need another knightmetal loop and towerwood planks. That would be the dungeon at the center of the dark forest. And sadly that would be too long for it to be in this video too, but essentially that wood is the primary substance of the tower there. Now, one sad thing, the knightmetal armor doesn't come with enchantments like some of the other armors and gear that you will find throughout. But still I like it. In any case, it just seems fancy. And there was actually one video by somebody about the Stronghold. If you search Twilight Forest mod animation, you might find it. But anyway, now thank y'all for watching. I'm glad y'all came. See ya.